My name is Chey, and I am currently reading 23 books. It has been worse, but let's go ahead and go over what I'm currently reading, that way you have some structure to this vlog. There's always a mix in here of currently reading because I do have Libby on my iPad on my phone, so I get books from my library. Yeehaw! I also have access to ebooks in other ways. I don't have Kindle, but I do have Amazon Prime, so sometimes I get their Prime Unlimited crap or whatever for ebooks. There's a reason that my current reads are always so high. I have never gotten down to one current read, I don't think. It's been a very long time since I ever have. But there's a method to the madness, and you'll see what I mean. There's a category that I sort of call my long-term reads, so let's go over those first. My long-term reads are ones such as my 10 pages a day book, where I'm reading it long term. I'm reading it for 10 pages a day until I finish it. So it's gonna be on my current reading list for a while. And the others are just ones that I'm taking my time with, either because they are super ginormous, or because I'm annotating them, it's a reread and I'm annotating, or I'm just taking my time with it. For instance, The Picture of Dorian Gray. This has been on here forever, and I will tell you why, a very specific reason. Because I got access to an audiobook from a website, this university website that has all these classics audiobooks, and I've been listening to it via audiobook, but I just haven't continued it because I'm like, in my head, I want to listen to the audiobook. I started with the audiobook. I want to finish it with the audiobook. So I just need to do it. An example of a long-term read that's because it's just so freaking ginormous is the Traveling to Work Diaries 1988 to 1998 by Michael Palin. This thing is like 700 pages, and it's a bunch of diary entries, so I'm just kind of picking it up every now and then before bed and reading a few pages. It's not something that I'm really worried about finishing in any sort of time frame. The More Than Complete Hitchhiker's Guide. This is a compendium of books 1 through 4 plus a short story. So obviously this is going to be on here until I finish all 4 books plus the short story. I'm already halfway through it. I've finished the first 2. But again, prime example of just something that I'm in no rush to finish. Then there is the even more specific subset, which are books that I got on loan from my library, but because they're popular, whenever my hold runs out, I haven't finished them, and so I have to wait for weeks to get them back. And until I do, they just sit on my current reads. The Iron Trial, and where's the other one? Dark Lover, Black Dagger...
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Black Dagger Brotherhood, Book 1. The Iron Trial and these two, Hillbilly Elegy, I started this, before the election, because I heard so much about it, and like now that things are happening, it's just, it's a bad taste in my mouth, and I know I need to read it for the knowledge. I know I do. I know I need to stop avoiding it. I need to, and also just to get a book off my TBR, but it's still like, I think I'm gonna have to take it in doses. The Rise and Fall of the House of Medici. This is my current 10 pages a day read, so it's gonna be on here. I'm actually behind in my 10 pages a day challenge for a multitude of reasons, but that is my current read, so that is why it's been on here for a while. I think those are all my longish term. Nope. We Are the Clash, Reagan Thatcher, and The Last Stand of a Band That Mattered. This is a big nonfiction book, and by big I mean like 300 pages. The way that's written and the font is just like, the font takes up the entire page. Like, there is no spacing on the page. It's just like text from border to border, and something about it fatigues my eyes so much that I can't read it too much at once. And the last one of my long-term reads that's on here, Prince of Thorns, The Broken Empire, Book 1. This is the first book in my favorite series of all time. I'm currently doing my first reread of it, and I am annotating and note-taking, so it's gonna be on here for a good long while. Also, expect a vlog about that. Expect a vlog rereading that entire series. It's good. It's good. I've already started filming it. It's gonna be good. My other reads that are on here. Rapid fire, let's go. Everything That Burns. I started this for my 28K in 28 days video. This is the sequel to AnnoCheyte. That is the first one, right? Book 1. This is a duology. Obviously, the last book I need to finish the duology. I don't know why I'm talking about it when I could just hold it up. I have it right here. I'm 18 pages into it. Not a bad start, but also not enough. Then we have My Heart is a Chainsaw. This, I was so sad. This was the book that I was hoping, one of the last books I was hoping to finish in my 28K challenge. Obviously I didn't. I got close though. I got 180 pages into it, and I've been continuing to read in it, but I've been a little bit fatigued after my challenge and just brain gremlins. So My Heart is a Chainsaw. I'm already halfway through this. I really, really want to finish this month because I am loving it. I just need to buckle down and do it. Demon Copperhead, one that I started for the challenge, but I didn't get very far in. I got like 10 pages into it, and then I just had a bunch of other stuff that I was currently reading for the challenge, but I am really liking it so far. I'm excited to get into this one. We have Royally F***ed, which is a Royal Fair series book 1. I got this for one of those free romance book days, the trial author days, where iTunes and a bunch of other sites have romance or various books for free. So I'm reading that. The Funeral Ladies of Ellery County. This is a loan from my library, an ebook. I am enjoying it so far. I'm about 13% into it, I think. I am enjoying it so far. Call Down the Hawk, Dreamer Book 1 by Maggie Stiefvater. This is her side series, the series that comes after, I think my friend said right, it comes after the Raven Boys. The lore with this one starts when I found book 2 in a thrift store, and I was like, wait a minute, she wrote another series, like, following Ronan, what the hell, where have I been? And I've been looking for book 1 for a very long time. Cannot find it anywhere to, like, save my life, and just haven't bought it off of Amazon or anything. And finally, I saw it available for my library as an audiobook. So I got it. I need to read it. Truth or Beard, Winston Brothers Volume 1 by Penny Reed. This came as a recommendation from my very good friend Nat, who is interested to see what I think of it, especially because of where it takes place and the humor in it. So far, I'm like a chapter or 2 into it. I am enjoying it. The humor made me cry at like 1 a.m. Yeah. The Marriage Portrait, I almost said O'Farrell Maggie, because that's how Goodreads has it listed. The Marriage Portrait, that is an audiobook that I got as a Skip the Line loan from my library, and I am currently 55% into it, and it goes back in 3 days. But I am really enjoying it so far, and it's wild reading this at the same time that I'm reading The House of Medici, because I'm like, I know all these names. I knew the general premise of The Marriage Portrait, but I didn't know what time period it took in, or took place in, and so when I heard Cosimo, my head snapped around so fast. We have Anxious for Nothing, Finding Calm in a Chaotic World. This is just a short audiobook on loan from my library. It's been on my wish list, something I've been curious about for a while, and it was available, so I said, alright, I'll get it. It's a 4-hour audiobook. Let's do it. The Stormcrow Book 1. This is a book that I started for my challenge. Didn't end up finishing, so it's left unfinished. Black Sun Rising. I love this book so much. Okay, I'm doing rapid fire as much as I can because I'll tell you about these later in the vlog, but Black Sun Rising is the Cold Fire Trilogy Book 1 by C.S. Freeman. This is another book I started for the challenge. Are you seeing a theme here? It is a chunky little fantasy guy that I am absolutely freaking loving. So I'm going to have no problem finishing this. It's the problem of sitting down amongst all of these to actually focus on it. I think I'm actually going to read it slower because I don't want it to end because I'm loving it so much already, and I am just like not even 200 pages into it, and I'm just like, emergency contract, did I say that right? Whatever. I'm liking it. I started it, say it with me, for the challenge, and just haven't finished it yet. I'm about 60-ish pages into it. Braving the Wilderness, The Quest for True Belonging, and The Courage to Stand Alone by Brene Brown. Again, another little short audiobook that I got from my library that I've been interested in for a while. It is also about 4 hours, I think, and I am 13-ish% into it. And that's it. That is currently where we stand. Wow. You know, considering that I don't look at it all the time, it doesn't feel like that much. Sitting down to actually have to talk to you about it makes me realize how much it actually is. And I also didn't mention, I got Shadow of the Gods as a skip the line library loan. So I have that too. I don't think I'm going to finish it though. I'm not harboring myself to finish it. I more have got it as a loan to like taste test it for myself to see if I do want to go and buy it, because I'm pretty sure that I am going to want a physical copy to read. I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. But when it came out as a skip the line loan, I was like, why not take it for a test ride here? Why not read it from my library first and see how much I'm going to love it before I get a physical copy? What's really funny is that I'm just sitting here minding my own business, and I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, you know, I'm always teasing my cousin, like, how can you watch The Office constantly? Because she always has The Office on in the background. Like, The Office is constantly playing in her apartment and her place. And you know what? No judgment. But in my mind, I'm like, how can you just watch, like, listen to the same thing over and over and over and over constantly? And then I said, but also me has seen Mark, Bob, and Wade play Firefighting Simulator probably like 100 times. And as I'm sitting here working on my laptop, I just have YouTube on mute playing, and it was a book video, a girl unhauling her books, and guess what auto played next?
A lot of body roll in this truck.
Yeah. This city sure does love lion statues. See a lot of them.
Maybe it's Lion City. Ooh, good point.
While this vlog is just going to be a right on test run, there is something that I'm also kind of test running to get my current read numbers down lately. And I am doing it, I think, until May 10th, or I said May 1st. I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to read at least 50 pages collectively in my current reads a day, every day until May 1st. Ideally, 10 pages in at least 5 of my current reads every single day until May 1st. Because, hey, steady progress, baby. The 10 pages a day method has worked wonders for me before. If you didn't know, those videos are on my main channel. Anyway, I might take this vlog for a week. I might take it to May 1st. I don't know. It's like 15 days. I think I'll just take it for a week. But you're going to get to see the kind of test run, the test drive. It's been going well so far. I started it just a few days ago, so you haven't missed on much. Don't panic. And I have finished a couple of books since then. I finished the one by Frederick Bachman. I'm probably butchering his name, the author of Beartooth. He wrote like an Amazon exclusive one called like Just Say No or something. You'll see the cover. I finished it. It was like 67 pages. It was good. I liked it. I also finished Initial D, Volume 1. Also good. I liked it. I gotta get my small wins where I can, right? And I have been liking this 10 pages in 5 different books a day method so far. I don't think it's something that I'm going to continuously go on with, but I think in short term it has given me enough of a dopamine boost, enough of a challenge in this short term to be like, oh yeah. Because when I lay down to go to bed at night, I like to unwind for bed by reading. And so I've kept a stack of books next to my bed where I've just been picking up and I'm like, okay, 10 pages in this one. Okay, 10 pages in this one. 10 pages in this one. And it's so nice actually getting to see my progress and actually think about which ones I'm going to read at night. I've been really excited about reading the 10 pages in my Clash book, because that is one that I really just want to get off my list, because I'm enjoying it, but I'm tired of looking at it on my list. So I think that is one that we're really going to prioritize in this vlog. In these future vlogs, I probably will have ones that I will prioritize over others. However, this is just going to be more of like, we'll see what happens. Because I don't really have anything right now that I want to prioritize too much over one another, except for getting my 10 pages a day read. But that is for a completely different vlog. Ew, ma'am. Why do I keep doing that? So I guess the other one that I would want to prioritize is the Clash one, and probably My Heart is a Chainsaw. That's probably the ones that I'll probably try and get done in this vlog. To keep myself accountable, I think for each of these vlogs, I'd like to at least get 2 books read. At least 2. If I don't, oh well. But I think that'll be like a good motivator for me with these things. But if I don't, then progress is still progress. Okay, I guess I'll check in with you before I go to bed. When I'm in bed, I'm gonna watch Mark, Bob, and Wade play Firefighting Simulator. For now, that's what I'm gonna do. Don't worry, I also promise to give you context to the books that I'm reading when I'm actually reading them, when they become relevant. I don't just want to waste time telling you the plot and synopsis of every book that I am reading in a vlog. The one that I think we're going to start with tonight is the one before I get in bed, because it's on my Books app on my lap. Books app on my lap. On my MacBook, on my laptop. It is the royally effed one. I don't know much about it yet because I'm only 36 pages into it, but our male main character is the prince of some fictional European country, and he is so insufferable that I want to punch him so hard he goes back to looking like a Habsburg. Guillotine is not enough. I want him to live with that jaw, you know? He is just so privileged and spoiled. And yes, he has claims. He has this thing of being like, I didn't choose to be in this life. Like, I was born into it. And like, I totally get it. He didn't choose to be a Nepo baby. And that does suck, being forced into that role. I mean, look at the UK royal family. Look at all that, you know. I get where he's coming from, and I empathize with that part of it. But when Guy tries to make me feel empathetic for him by being like, oh, they shut down the power grid on a dare that I did when, like, I was in middle school. And because of that, guess what his punishment was? So his friend was like, you can't hack, like, into the power grid, you know, whatever. And he did. The entire country, like, the main power grid was like, oh god, something's wrong. So they shut down the entire power grid because he was just, like, doing something on a dare. Which you could be like, middle school boys getting up to annex, you know, whatever, and privilege, right? As long as he had a fitting punishment. You want to guess what his punishment was? He was grounded for 2 weeks. I want to punch this man into looking like a Habsburg. Like, I forgot to mention this. This takes place in this is some kind of college romance, and we're following a femme MC who's an American who is studying abroad in this country, who's also at this university. But he's at this university because it's this big elite school that they pay to get into, and he willfully acknowledges that, like, his family bought his way in here. I mean, he's a prince, of course. He is somewhat self-aware, but not enough. He lives in a dorm with his guard, and he's talking about how hard his freaking life is, and how much he hates the role and whatnot. I'm not hating it so far. The only reason that I am not DNFing it yet is because it is a relatively short read, and also because I am trying to hold out hope that we are getting the worst image of him right now. That way we can see a bigger growth in his character arc over the course of this book. Because he could always be insufferable, and then, like, he has a change of heart, and that's part of his character arc, is growing and changing as a human being and becoming not as insufferable, you know? I'm holding out hope, plus it was a free book, and I want to give the author a chance, but I'm also not gelling too much with the writing style, because it does read like he's juvenile, which mentally he is, but doesn't mean I like reading in that kind of prose. However, I am going to continue on with it, though. We're going to get to page 46. Da-da-da-da-da! We come to you with a breaking news report because I read the 10 pages and royally... and I have such an update for you. Nico is his name, and he has earned himself back 1 gold star. 1 gold star! He has earned it within, like, 3 pages of me reading these 10 pages, and I will tell you why. We got to the part where he gets called to the palace because his dad wants to talk to him or whatever, and he's like, are you still studying at the university? You need to, like, come home and help me. I'm old. And Nico is going on to this backstory about how the duties that he's expected of are not just the kingly stuff, but because he's in college, it's also been put off his planned marriage. That is the word, right? Since before he was born, they've had this plan for him to marry this girl named Vanessa. They grew up together. He says when they were kids, they were even friends, but as they've grown up, he just, like, doesn't respect her. He doesn't like her anymore because she's really judgmental and stuff. And because of that, he's procrastinating as hell on getting engaged to her because he's supposed to set up the whole proposal. He's supposed to obviously court her and then get married and produce an heir with her. And he rightfully says, you know, that's a lot of pressure on a guy. I mean, he's not wrong. And so he starts talking to his dad, and he's like, Dad, king, guy, I don't like Vanessa. And his dad goes, I kid you not, his dad said, she's got good breeding. Nico's immediate response, she's not a horse. My boy gets 1 star back. He gets 1 star. Maybe he's not as bad as I thought he was. He gets 1 star back.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
He's made a deal with his dad where he's like, hey, if I pass my classes honestly, like if I don't have, you know, someone taking for me or whatever, can I have my senior year to myself before I need to come home and get serious? Can I have it without the bodyguards? Can I just, like, have it to myself with no royal duties intact? Can I just be a normal person for a year? And his dad's like, I'll tell you what, you have to keep the bodyguards, but if you pass your classes honestly, yeah, I'll let you have your senior year with no royal duties, you know, whatsoever. 1 free year. And we just ended off these 10 pages with another chapter where our FemMC is going around putting up posters for tutoring, and he has contacted her, and they just met up for the first time. And she's head over heels for him already. Just in looks, I'm gonna tell you that right now. I like the description she gave of him, which was, he was the epitome of the native Edinburghian. It's clearly trying to be Edinburgh. Is that the right way to pronounce it? Probably not. With soft, but they add an L, so Edinburghian. With soft brown hair and brown eyes. If the country had a boy band, I was sure he would feature prominently. I kind of like that. That's funny. I'm in bed. Clearly. I have decided for my other 3 reads, I'm gonna read 10 pages in Shadow of the Gods on my ebooks, and then I'm going to read The Rise and Fall of the House of AnnoCheyte, 10 pages in We Are the Clash, and 10 pages in my beloved Black Sun Rising. But I'm already tired. I'm already so eepy. I'm already so eepy. So I think we'll start with the nonfiction first. Good morning. I know, I'm wearing the same sweater, but I just woke up like 10 minutes ago and had breakfast. Sue me. Also, it was 65 degrees in my house when I woke up. Spring is here, y'all. JK, it just got over Redbud winter, so we have God knows how many freaking summer winters, or southern winters to get through now. Did my 10 pages last night. I am happy about the progress that I made because I feel I feel so accomplished. It's so stupid, but I do feel so accomplished going through my Clash book, like having these 3 books in front of me and being like, yeah, just a little bit more. Excess by Rina Sawayama. This morning, I woke up, I haven't read much, but I listened to the audiobook of The Marriage Portrait while I was making breakfast. I'm about 57% through it now. I have like 5 hours left, 5.5 hours left on audiobook, and I listened to it on triple speed. So I'm gonna try and listen to it throughout my day today when I'm just walking around, because I really don't want to have to put it on hold. I'd really just like to finish it and call it quits. As for other reading plans today, I don't know, because I have so much editing in my video to get done, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking about taking my 10 pages a day book and going outside while the sun is still rising and reading those 10 pages, or at least reading like 20 or 30 pages. I calculated last night and I've only got about like 80 pages or so, like 8 days worth left in it at least. It is the kind of morning where I'm not watching anime. I just went straight to my emotional support YouTuber, which, if you don't know, if you're new to me, it's Markiplier. This time, it was with Ethan and Tyler, though, because I watched the pretzels. Markiplier makes pretzels. And now I also really want pretzels. We have a guy called Sam the Pretzel Man near where I live. I've never had any of his pretzels, but I'm curious to. Update that Chey is now sitting directly in the sun, and that makes Chey a happy girl, which is very much needed, because I'm not feeling like a very happy girl. But sunshine, sitting in direct sunlight, and I do mean direct, and my crows are here, makes Chey a happy girl. I am about 60-something% through The Marriage Portrait. I'm still really liking it. I plan to get 75% of the way through it today. I want to go on my walking pad for like half an hour, and I think I'll probably listen to it there, or just cleaning around the house, because I want to do some rearranging with my clothes, spring cleaning and all that. But for now, I'm going to sit out here and enjoy the sun. We have a little bit of success. I did not update last night because I was so freaking tired when I went to bed, but we have a little bit of success. I actually didn't end up reading that much when I went to bed either. I did listen to a little bit more of the audiobook. I got like 79% of the way through The Marriage Portrait, so that was awesome. And I read 10 more pages in the Clash book. Awesome. And I really just ended up rereading a lot of my annotations from Johannes Cabal the Detective, because I love that book and I need to go through and have it. Anyway, I'm talking to you as a little update, and because I just finished The Marriage Portrait. Today was my last day of the loan, because it was a skip the line loan, which, if you don't have Libby or you're not familiar, that means you only get it for like a week. And so you gotta listen to it. It's a 13-hour audiobook, so girl was flying. Actually, skip the line may be less than 7. Actually, it may be like 4. Either way, I listened to it at about 25% a day. And so I had to get through 79 through the rest today, and I just finished it and returned it early. God bless whoever it's going on to now. It's like a 4 out of 5 star for me. I really enjoyed it. That it takes place during a era of Italy's history that has been a hyperfixation for me since I discovered Leonardo da Vinci was a thing, which was when I was a child, and I mean like 3-4 years old. So this has been a hyperfixation going on for decades. I enjoyed it. Some of the metaphors and the symbolisms were a little heavy-handed, such as like spotting of the blood. If you know, you know. I like, as I was listening to it, I was like, have I been around too many literary people that I'm getting it and it seems a little bit heavy-handed to me? Because the author wasn't obvious about it, but when I heard it, my brain immediately connected it, and I was like, okay, I get it. Because it wasn't repetitive, so I think it's more of a me, like I've been around a lot of stuff too much that I just noticed it immediately, and I was like, I saw it like a neon sign. I really liked it, though. I enjoyed it. There are lines that I'll always think about from that, like the line, he would not hurt her, yet he did anyway. The moment I heard that, the world shifted a little bit. I stunned. So I'm really glad that I read that. Another book off my TBR, another book off my current reads, and it was a good book. It was 4 out of 5 stars. Awesome. I don't know what I'm going to work on next. I'm working on editing right now, actually. Yesterday, I read 15 pages in my 10 pages a day book, too. So I got that done, too. I don't know if I told you that. I'm telling you now, it's Friday, and I sure hope that I updated you on finishing The Marriage Portrait. I'm pretty sure I did. I haven't really done that much reading since then. I read 10 more pages in that Royal Affairs book, and oh yeah, I wanted to send him back to the guillotine. You remember that respect that I gained for him talking about like breeding is for horses or whatever? Yeah, back to the guillotine, back to the trenches with him. He referred to females as specimens, and just the way that he is talking about this girl, I get, right, painting a dude as like icky, being like he just wants to sleep with her, and then it turns into something more. But there's a way to do that without being disgusting. Like, it's a way to have caveman brain without being demeaning. And this is not hitting it. He is looking at her like, he has a remark about like, he bet she's never been with anyone before and he can't wait to like, it's gross. It's gross. And I'm like, why am I hate reading this? I think I'm hate reading it right now, at least for him. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know, but I am, and I am having an awful time when it comes to him. Otherwise, it's fine. But him, if I ever saw him behind a 7-Eleven. I did get a History of Fear off of my library holds, though, so that's awesome. Can't wait to read that. I returned Shadow of the Gods early, because like I said, I read enough to where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna love this, and I know I'm gonna get it elsewhere. Or I went ahead and I put a hold on it from my library, that way I can get it from my library if I don't get it before then, which I probably won't. I am 54th in line, but whatever. I'd rather wait for it and be able to read it in like a month, because I get my holds for 21 days. I'd rather be able to hold it and read it then than have to keep getting it in like 4-day increment or try and read it all in one more day. I didn't even read my 10 pages a day, but oh, I listened to more of Dr. Brene Brown's Brave the Wilderness. Is that what's called, the audiobook? The chapter on political disagreement and stuff like that in the states of the country and like division and stuff like that. I would love to see a revisit on that chapter, because a lot of it, I'm like, I get what you're going for. I get it. And your main points, yes. But now, I'd be curious to see if the author would double down or have something more complex to say about it, because the way that things have changed. Otherwise, I haven't really read anything tonight, because I'm hoping and praying. I'm hoping and praying that my video is gonna get rendered, or I'm gonna finish it. I finished the volume checks, and now I'm letting my laptop rest. Love her. She needs her rest. When I come back from feeding the animals down to my cousin's, I am gonna work out, and I'm gonna try to render it while I'm working out. I'm just gonna test it and see what it does, which is why I am letting it rest right now, because my computer has crashed twice during the making of this video. I mean, white confetti screen, shut all the way down. It took up 80 gigabytes of working memory. The grand one really is grand, isn't she? Oh, she will be. She fucking better be. And so tonight, what I'm hoping to do, I am hoping that if it gets rendered, even if it doesn't, it's fine. I'm just going to take the night off because I've been working hard on it. And so I'm going to work out, and then I'm probably going to read more of my library holds. I don't know what yet, but more of my library holds. I'm going to read Truth or Beard more, because I need to live text Nat and bother the hell out of her with that. I need to do that. So definitely that. I'm planning on, by the time this goes up, I will have already done this to Nat. So Nat, I'm so sorry. I'm planning, what I used to do was I live reacted to Dragon Ball Z, and I would text everything in like one long note, and then at the end of the episode, I would copy paste it all to one of my friends who was really into Dragon Ball as like my live reaction. So that's what I'm gonna do with Nat. I'm just gonna type all my reactions like in a note, and then just holy Batman wall of text her. Nat, I'm sorry in advance. I am going to read my 10 pages a day book, and probably some more of my library holds, whatever is bothering me. I might color tonight. I might listen to one of my audiobooks and color. I gotta go feed animals. Bye. A girl is simply tired. A girl is simply very tired. I have been trying to export this video all day, and bless my MacBook's heart, she's working so hard. 7 hours of exporting from Final Cut, and it got 77% of the way through 78. And then it was using 84 gigabytes of RAM, and it just wanted to shut down, and I was like, we were so close. We were so close. Because sometimes my MacBook exports at 85%, and I was like, come on, another half hour and we would have been there. So, I cleared out my render files, and I'm gonna try again tomorrow. You know how I said we're gonna try and read down my current reads in this? I started 4 more. I did finish one today, though, so technically it's almost like I'm only starting 3. I have been reading at least 10 pages in them, though. This one, what am I in? I started Adelaide. I am 8 pages into it, so almost 10. I started this one. It's the Lair Readathon's Flowers on the Cover weekend. I have no illusions that I'm going to finish all these this weekend, but I'm going to take the challenges the whole week because I'm dealing with this. And I read a chapter in Powerless. I started Gun Island. And the one that I am most excited about, Brothers Cabal, The Brothers Cabal, number 4 in the Johannes Cabal series. If you did not know, now you know, one of Chey's most favorite series. I opened up page 1, immediate joy. Just immediate joy. I need to get all my tabs together. I want to go through and annotate the hell out of this as I'm reading it. Don't think it's going to happen just because I want to fly through it so badly. Shoo, in an aged whisper. Me too. Stop, Chey. We're gonna spoil ourselves doing that. That will not be good. I finished Brene Brown's Brave the Wilderness book today. It was really good. I teared up many times. I give it a 4 out of 5. A lot of the key points that I took away from it are things that resonated with me. A lot of just like show up and stay with the pain, you know, especially just the human value of connection in events through joy. I think there's a lot of good lessons to take away from it. I enjoyed it. Good little 4-hour audiobook. And I got halfway through Anxious for Nothing. It's getting very faith-centered. When I first started the book, it had a faith leaning, which I don't really mind considering I've grown up in the Deep South. You know, that was my whole upbringing. And I really, really appreciated it. Literally, like, within the first, I don't know, like 10 minutes, the author was like, hey, there's nothing wrong with going to therapy and taking medication, like, for your anxiety, which is such a curveball considering what I am used to. Mostly where I'm from, you know, it's like, oh, well, let your faith handle that, you know, stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. So it was nice to hear no demonization of, like, methods that are non-faith-based, you know, whatever. But now it's leaning more and more faith-based as the entire solution, which, if that works for you, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm like, hey, let's divert here, you know? I thought it was going to be more than that. I don't know. I may just continue it because it is only 2 more hours and, like, see where it leads. But whatever, my brain is fried from editing all day. I'm so tired. I also started reading A History of Fear. I read a couple chapters in Truth or Beard last night. I am live, laugh, loving it. Screaming, gagging, grinching, throwing up in a good way. I'm 18% of the way into it. I texted Nat the note. As I said, my natty notes. No, we're not going to do that. I texted Nat my notes. I think this is going to be a weekly thing for us. But I texted Nat my notes. And I'm going to read some more before I go to bed tonight. That's the plan. I'm letting my beloved little laptop, I'm petting her beside you. Don't be jealous. I'm petting her as she rests tonight. And I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to try and read to keep my sanity. I don't know what I'm going to read. I kind of want to read Brothers Cabal just to get some serotonin back into my life for Johannes and Horst. Probably Gun Island. My 10 pages a day book, wherever she's at. Am I too tired to read nonfiction? I don't know. I'm going to bed kind of early. These 3, probably my Clash book, and then whatever is on my phone for my library holds. Because I have quite a few. I want to read at least a chapter in every single one of my library holds except for audiobooks. I'm gonna get ready and go to bed. I'm sad, man. Call me the scat sad man. Ka-choo. None of that was a segue from anything else. It's been a few days since I've updated you, but I'm back at my house now. I was at my parents' house for a few days. I DNF'd Call Down the Hawk. I don't even know if I mentioned that I got it on audiobook because I owned the second one. I ended up DNFing it because Will Patton's a great narrator, so I've heard, but I can't listen to his voice on 2x speed, and I have to listen to an audiobook on more than 2x speed or I will physically combust. And it's a 13-hour audiobook, and I was like, I can't do it. At least I can't do it right now, so I just returned it to the library, but it's good to know that I can get it if I need it from the library. I am more than halfway through Truth or Beard, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's making me cackle like a gackle. I'm loving my time. I just got to the part where the main characters are at, I want to say a drag race, not a drag race, it's a dirt race, like in the canyons, and we just, like, got, I'd say, technically our first bit of steam. And yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm very curious to see how this emotional angst is going to turn out because it's going to hit. but I'm really liking it so far. I have been reading The Brothers Cabal because 5 stars already. I am only 61 pages into it, but I am loving every second of it. I hope that Lady Merda gets eaten. I love Alicia a lot more. That's all I have to really say about that, but I am loving Horst. That's my boy. I love him so much. And I love Johannes. I love their dynamic. I need a buddy cop movie of them so freaking badly. They are just my perfect dynamic. The writing, the descriptions, the humor. I love it. I'm loving every second of it. I have been getting such an inkling to read Mark Lawrence again ever since I saw him do the AMA on the Fantasy Red, which just so happened to be the day that I was checking for the Fantasy Bingo, and I was like, this is meant to be. My timing is perfect. So I've been really wanting to continue annotating Prince of Thorns and just reread the other series that he has out, but I need to finish a bunch of my current reads first. I'm also almost finished with House of Medici. I might finish it today or tomorrow, and I think I'm going to double up. I think I'm going to break my own rule, and I'm going to read 2 of my 10 pages a day books at a time until I catch up with where I'm supposed to be. I think I'm going to do it. We're going to see if it leads to disaster, but we're going to try it. That's for a different video. I read a little bit more of Gun Island. I'm also really enjoying it. It's too early to talk too much about it, but we've just got a lead on kind of the mystery and some of the world building, placing us in with the characters and stuff. I'm liking it, but it's a book that I definitely want to take in doses. What else am I reading from my library? Oh, I got the Buffalo Hunter on a Skip the Line loan. I literally went to my Skip the Line loans, and the very first result was Stephen Graham Jones, and I was like, who am I reading 2 Stephen Graham Jones at one time? I'm having a great time here. I'm only the 2nd chapter in, but I'm absolutely adoring it. I'm probably going to binge read it tonight. I'm reading A History of Fear. I'm really enjoying it. I've been reading a bunch, mostly because I've had time to kill with exporting this gosh darn video. So that's where we're at with reading. And I think I'm going to read some more in Black Sun Rising today, and just really focus on finishing my 10 pages a day book and reading the Stephen Graham Jones Skip the Line loan that I got. Yep, talk to you later. Another little reading thing I forgot to update you on. I have some books on my Amazon Kindle app. Yes, I have the app. I don't actually own a Kindle, but I've had the Kindle app since college because I got some of my books for college on the Kindle app because that was like the only place they had besides getting them for like $57 from Barnes & Noble, which not gonna happen. I'm gonna get it for $10 from Amazon because I'm a student, okay? Point being that back then Prime Reading was in its very early stages and there were free books, but now that Prime Reading has really kind of come along on its own, which I may have talked about this earlier, but I am trying to get back into. I'm trying to get some of the free books from Prime Reading that are available, and I'm trying to use it for books that I think I'm gonna want, but it's like a taste test, and they're usually ones that I can't get from my library. My first source is always my library. The second is seeing if I can get them free from Amazon. I need to go and pay my library fine for Nashville's public library, because you can get a Nashville public library card, but if you're out of the metro area, you have to go pay $5 as a fee, one-time fee to go get ebooks, and I don't live near any of the branches, and you can't pay over the phone, and you can't pay online. Nashville, why? Anyway, so I can look, but I can't touch. But I have some books on Amazon Kindle that I haven't read yet, that I've had for years, that when Prime Reading was in its early stages, I just got. One is called Raven's Peak, and the other is like Seger, some kind of fantasy, like Roman thing, anyway. And I don't just want to like delete them off, because I am somewhat interested in them. Obviously, I was enough interested in them in college that I downloaded them. So I want to give them a fair shot, because they are new to me authors, and I think they are relatively smaller authors. So why not give them a shot, right? I already have them. So I've been reading. I read the first couple chapters in both. Steiger, I'm not impressed with. It's fine, but the writing feels very procedural to me. And it may have just, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt with the first chapter because we're world building and we're setting up and stuff like that. But if the writing style continues the way that it is throughout the next couple chapters, I'm going to DNF it, because it is literally just an action play-by-play of what's going on. And I don't like that kind of writing style, personally. The story is not bad. There is some actually interesting dynamics and characters going on, but that writing style will annoy the hell out of me if it's going to continue to be that way. However, there's nothing wrong so far that I've seen with like the story of the characters itself. So if you want to go check it out, by all means, it might be for you. But we're going to see in the next couple chapters if it's going to be for me. The next one, Raven's Peak, is just, it's different. I like it better than Steiger so far. But I feel like I'm being left behind in a lot of the lore, and that may have been a little bit on me, because I was reading it at like 11 o'clock at night when I was stressed out about my video, so that part is on me. And I'm definitely going to try and at least 25% to 30 of these books before I DNF. You know, I want to give these books at least a fair shot. And Raven's Peak, I'm not looking to DNF yet. Not at least as much as Seger. I'm like, I think I am, but I'm gonna give it a fair shot. Raven's Peak, I am liking. It's interesting because there's some kind of world going on. I haven't yet got a handle on it, but there's this character they call the Reverend, who's like this kind of self-repentant guy, and that he's done something, and there's like the society of hunters and like demons or something like that, and he's in jail in solitary, repenting for something, but he used to be a hunter, and it's kind of like the Punisher in a way, like they brought him back for one last mission also kind of thing. So I'm liking it, but we're gonna have to see where it goes. Those are the ones. And I got Abby Jimenez's The Fall Risk, and I read a couple of pages in that because Jan really loved it, and it's a little shorty. It's like 81 pages. I figure why not? It's free. It's later that same night. Nat is hosting some reading and productivity sprints, so I'm tuning into those and using that to read while my video exports. I'm hoping that it finishes exporting this time, or else I'm gonna lose it. I have been reading more in Truth or Beard, which I am still absolutely loving. It is so accurate with the garage life. I was just telling Nat this, but as someone who my entire life I was raised, practically was my daycare, being in mechanic shops and mechanic bays and dealerships, and I mean, I was stocking parts in warehouses at like 3 years old, going into work with my mom at 4 a.m. stocking parts. That's why I read out numbers the way that I do. If they have more than 3 digits, that's why I read them out the way that I do, because I read them like part numbers, because I've been conditioned. But anyway, all the mechanic and garage scenes and all that are pretty accurate, and that is just, she's loving it, because this series could have gone so wrong for me, as she says, because it takes place in Tennessee, has to do with mechanics, has to do with rural Tennessee, has to do with biker clubs, and it could have went so wrong, but I'm just loving it. I'm having a good time. I feel like if I wanted to, I could be nitpicky about it, but that's the same with any book. Instead, I'm just loving it. I'm just having a good time here. From my experience, the small townness is very accurate. The bat craziness of gossip, like being like the cousins strung out and doing all this and blah 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 blah, accurate. The garage, accurate. Sheriffs and church, like the depiction of all that, like small town politics, just accurate across the board. I'm enjoying it. As for Seger, I read another chapter in it. It's still very play-by-play. However, if I were to finish it, it would fulfill the small press prompt in Fantasy Bingo. And I already have it. So I'm going to read a couple more chapters, at the least. I want to give it a very fair shot. I want to give it the fairest of shots, because the second chapter got a little bit better towards the end. So I'm going to give it at least like a couple more chapters at the least. I feel like that's a fair shot, especially for how long it's been waiting on my app. I feel like I need to give it a fair shake. So we're going to try that, and I'll let you know how it goes from there. But don't be surprised if I DNF it. But I'm hoping I don't have to, because it would fulfill my prompt. Besides that, though, I haven't really been reading. I've been exporting. I ate dinner, and I've been watching Mark, Bob, and Wade play Headliners Part 3. I think I'm going to continue reading Truth or Beard. I might color an audiobook a little bit, and then probably read some more of The Brothers Cabal. How we doing, crusty crew? Sorry, Cupid. I've been feral. I have been reading a lot lately. I don't know if I mentioned in my last update. I probably did, but I got a Skip the Line loan for The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones from my local library, and I think today's the last day that I have it on loan. So I'm trying to read as physically much of it as I possibly physically can. Wow, I said physically twice. I'm definitely not going to finish it tonight. I don't think there's any fathomable way for my eyes to engorge that many words tonight. I say, yes, I just did a 28K in 28 days video, but that was to prove something. This is just for fun. Who knows? I might. Today's a Saturday, so I can stay up late and work on my videos and read to my heart's content. I feel like I haven't been keeping you properly updated on whatever the hell I've been reading. It's just because I've been reading a little bit of so much. I am enjoying The Buffalo Hunter so far, though. It is very intriguing. I haven't gotten super far in it. I've just gotten to where Goodstab, is that his name? The Native American gentleman is talking to the priest, and is sharing his life story. I just got there. So basically there's a town back in the old days where they skinned all these buffalo calves because they were crying after all their parents got killed. And then there was this killing of this guy, like 40 years later, who was skinned just like one of the buffalo calves. And this is all written down in a manuscript by our main character's grandfather, great-grandfather, great-something grandfather, and they found these manuscripts in a wall, and this person, the main character, is like reading them and going through the story, like found letterage, found media, lost media. It's interesting. I'm having a great time. I just need to sit down and actually read it some more. I mean, because I've been reading it. I finished Anxious for Nothing. Anxious for Nothing was pretty good. It is 95% spiritually centered and faith-based, so if you are not a Christian religion follower, not the book for you. However, what I love about it, I thought it was very good. Like, in terms of being faith-based, faith-centered, as someone who follows that myself, I thought it was great. Something else I can give it great credit for is the way that it uplifts medication and therapy as ways to help anxiety. It doesn't demonize those things like a lot of faith-centered things I think tend to do when it comes to anxiety, because it's like, oh, lean heavily on your faith. No, this book's like, hey, if you need to go get medication and therapy, do that. Like, do that. They're meant to help you. And I'm like, yes, we can have both. So that earned it a lot of points. The only time that it kind of lost a star was one chapter talking about that you can control your thoughts, that your thoughts are like an airport and you control what lands. Listen, buddy, as someone with ADHD and a lot of trauma, I can tell you very much that is not true. And I wish it was, but it's not. And I think I get the point. I think what the author was actually trying to say is, like, we can control the after parts of those thoughts. Because there were things throughout the chapter that the author was mentioning, like, oh, well, you'll think this, or this thought will come into my mind, and then I have to, you know, leave it to my faith, and blah, 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 blah. But the way that it was phrased to begin with, I was like, not setting a good prime example. However, at the end of the book, the author did turn around and clarify that we can't control our thoughts, but we can learn how to control our reactions to our thoughts. What we give validation, what we don't. Things like that, which I'm like, yes, that's the healthier conduct way. So 1 points back for that. Overall, it's pretty good. I liked it. But if you're not faith-based in the Christian respect, it's not for you, because it's faith-based, faith-centered. I mean, you can try it. I'm not going to stop you. You can read whatever you want. But I just don't want you to go into it and be like, oh, wait. I'm still loving Truth or Beard. I'm more than halfway through. I've gotten to the big conflict between the boys and the Iron Wraiths. I am absolutely loving Jess and our boy. I told Nat I've been fangirling with Nat this entire time. Because thank you to Nat for putting me onto these books in the first place. It's Nat's fault. She's ruined my life. But it's fine, because I've been screaming and yelling with her in her live streams over text. I've just been screaming about my Dwayne pain, because Dwayne is my dude, and I love Dwayne so much. I'm just loving the entire family. The dynamics, the banter, the steam is pretty good. Just a great time. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I think I'll check out the other parts of the series so far. Read a little bit more in Seger. It is getting better. It is getting a little bit more interesting. Not if you don't like military-type history. It will not be interesting to you. But the writing is getting better, and where it's not just a play-by-play anymore. It still is like 50-50 on it. But the fact that it's gotten better since the first chapter gives me hope to keep continuing it, so I'm going to. Also read more of The Fall Risk, and I'm about halfway through it. I am loving it. I am very much Izzy. I love the tip about the baseball bat with the sock. That's pretty good. However, Katanas. It's a very don't think, just vibe type read, and I'm loving my time here. I love the real Swim Shady. I probably wouldn't have picked this up if it wasn't for Jan talking about it, and I was like, you know what, it's 81 pages, it's on Prime or whatever, why not give it a shot, right? So thank you, Jan. I'm having a good time. I don't think it's gonna make Abby Jimenez a brand new favorite author for me, but a good time's a good time. What else am I reading? Who are you? I'm paranoid. Ever since early this afternoon, I was sitting in my living room and someone came up and knocked on my door, and I haven't even heard him come up the driveway. And I've been thinking, like, thank God I'm not outside. I wasn't outside when he pulled up. He was very nice. He was just inquiring about one of the houses down the road, wondering if it's for rent and stuff. He was very nice. He was very respectful. But someone comes up to your door out here in the country, it's like, what do you want? It's like, first of all, how'd you even get here? Second of all, who's your mama and dad? Third of all, you know my grandpappy? Like the guy that came up to my door and was like, "Are you Howard?" I'll update you later tonight because I hope to read a lot more tonight. But for now, bye-sies. Welcome back. Back again. It is 4:28, and last night I finished The Rise and Fall of the House of Medici. It was really good. I love reading anything about the Medici, learning anything about the Medici. I thought it was a very accessible, very good read. I talk more about it in my upcoming, which you'll have to wait to the end of the year to see 10 pages in 10 days video. But I did really like it. If you're curious about the Medici, the history of the family in Italy, I think this is a good one to go with. I read 10 more pages a day in a Royal Affair series. I'm still hating him. Still hating the main character. I need to see what this book is marketed as. If it's just marketed as, like, smut, no plot, then fine. But, like, the smut hasn't happened yet, and I don't know that, like, steam will happen. But it's very steam, like, the progress to steam-centric. And I'm just like, the portrayal of virgins in this story is all that I'm gonna say is bothers me. Because you remember how I told you that guy was like, oh, I bet she's, like, never been with anyone. Like, she seems so blah, 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 so pure. Like, I can bring it out of her, blah, blah, blah. I'd love to see what happens when I'm... But it turns out he was right. And she talks about that in her chapter. Oh, God, I don't even know how to talk about it, because it just makes me angry. I also just woke up, and it's not even 7 a.m. There's a chapter where she's talking with her roommate, right? Not only is this guy still, like, spoiled and privileged, like, his roommate has to cook eggs for him and stuff, and he has these comments that I'll list here of, like, that tick me off. But they just scream, wham, 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 I'm a big wild baby, and I know nothing about the world. I would get curb stomped in the street if I was to try and survive by myself. I would curb stomp this man in the street if he tried to survive by himself. I know an Eldenburg royal prince hate to see me coming. There's a chapter where she's talking to her roommate, and she's like, yeah, I got this tutoring student, like, he's super hot, you know, stuff like that, but I'm doing it for the money, you know, I'm trying to keep it separate, blah, blah, blah. And it devolves into a conversation about intimacy and how she's never had it in her life besides just, like, kissing, and her roommate has, and she refers to her roommate as, like, worldly. And then there's a line that, oh, it really pissed me off when she was like, she is talking to her roommate, like, having this internal monologue about, like, how she could be more like her roommate. He could, like, show her these things and, like, educate her. First of all, you don't need a man to teach you nothing. Okay? You don't. You don't. I'm gonna tell you that right now, baby girl. You don't. You don't. And then it has this line of, like, if we go all the way, he could teach me, like, what it means to be a woman.
Then something just snapped. Something inside of me.
Almost DNF'd. Almost DNF'd at that point. I still might DNF, because it just... reminds me of heterosexual Christian writers trying to be edgy. I'm not naming any names, and I'm not saying that that type of genre is wrong, but it's not my taste, and this is what this reminds me of. Those of you who get it will get it. So yeah, I'm not liking it. I'm gonna give it one more chapter, and if I'm still absolutely... I want to see if it turns around, and it's only like 100 more pages. 100 more pages of my life. But it's only like 100 more pages, and it was free, and if I read it all, I'll get to leave a really big, polite, but rant review. Because this author hasn't done anything offensive. I was gonna say wrong, but I think it's wrong. Hasn't done anything, like, racist or, you know, whatever like that. So I'm not gonna go in and just, like, tear him a new one in a review. That's... because there are people who are gonna love this book. And if they love it, that's so good for them. But what it means to be a woman means feminine rage. And baby, you about to get all of it. I'm dreaming of white Christmas. I'm sitting here with Royally Effed in front of me. And I decided to give another shot about what I was telling you the other morning. What really bothers me is not that the fact that our MC is a virgin, and it's not painting virgins in a bad light either. It's actually seeming like it's trying to... I can't tell if it's trying to paint her as asexual or not, because she kind of reads asexual, but not. It's so weird because she has these comments like, you know, intimacy has like never appealed to me, you know, like romance, sure, but like, the act itself seems kind of gross, or and like it's just like you know, it doesn't interest me and stuff like that. And you know what? Even if not asexual, that's totally fine for a character, you know, whatever. Here's this paragraph. This is what nearly drove me to physically, mentally throw this across the room. Okay? I couldn't imagine sex being fun. It seemed like a closed society, a secret exchange that only brave people experience. I knew I would be trembling my first time. No problem there, so far. No problem with that. Nico would take me in his arms and show me all the pleasures of this world. Again, not really any problem with that. You want to have that fantasy? Sure, go ahead, baby girl. Do what you want to do. I could learn so much more from him than arithmetic and literature. But okay, I could learn what it really meant to be a woman. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. What? How much heteronormative, disgusting. You get it, right? You get it. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just like, what the? It's glorifying a male gaze. It's defining womanhood in the sense of being an object on the end of pleasure for a man. That part of purpose in their gender identity has to be defined with this act at the hands of a man. I'm not saying this as well as I want to. Oh god, Nat is so much smarter than me. I wish I'm texting Nat right now, but like, Nat, help me telepathically. Tell me what to say. Natically. Tell me what to say, Nat. She's gonna watch this vlog and be like, Chey, what the hell's wrong with you? It's insinuating that a giant part of purpose to be found through their gender identity can only come at the hands of a man. Good morning. I've been sitting outside on my porch, directly in the sun and in the fresh air, just sitting here drinking my coffee and reading a little bit. I read a little bit in my 10 pages a day book, caught up with that, and I read a chapter in The Brothers Cabal. No shock to anyone, I'm still loving this. I'm in love with Horst to an unfathomable degree. Him and Johannes, I'm in love with both of them. I want both of them. I want to marry both of them. Johannes is kind of already taken, so I'll take Horst. Alas, such is fiction. 2 new fictional husbands. I ship Horst and Alicia so hard. They've known each other like 20-30 pages, and I ship them so hard. I'm sorry, why did the phrase, I'll look for you, send me? It is too early in the morning for this. That's why. It is so funny to read this book, not just because it's funny, but because I'm only 60 pages in. What am I? 76 pages in. And there are so many moments where I'm like, Horst, your Johannes is showing, Horst. Because he's supposed to be like the calm until he's pushed brother, but a little bit of that ruthlessness from Johannes comes out sometimes in him. Like, he has this line where he says, like, yeah, you don't realize how far up we are in this building until you throw someone out the window, and looks directly at somebody who he wants to throw out a window. And I was like, that's Johannes. That's Johannes speaking through him. And I love to see it. I love a sassy man. I love it. I love them. I love them so much. I'm having such a wonderful time. I want to grab my stuff and highlight all the way through this, but it's compounded with the fact that I don't want to slow down to read through. I just want to blast through it. I want to read it because I have these plans. If the last book, I am trying to keep my standard, like, not my standard, I'm trying to keep my expectations way down. If book 5, the last book in the series, is also a 5-star, or if I still love it doesn't have to be a 5-star, but like, if I still love it, right, as long as I don't hate it, then I'll go through and reread and annotate the ones that I haven't annotated, because I have this plan that if I end up loving the entire series, so I got these from my, like, a local library sale, I'm gonna go through and paint the edges black to match the book. That way my tabs stand out all the more. I might do some black and red stenciling, I don't know. I don't know that I would be talented enough to do a stencil on it, but I can definitely paint them black. I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't want the series to end, so I'm savoring book 4, this book, while I can. I'm just loving actually getting to spend more time with Horse too, because the past 2 books, he's been gone for 2 books. That's not a spoiler. I'm not telling you where he went, but he like wasn't in the last 2 books, and I loved him in the first, so it's so nice to kind of see him as the main character for a majority of this one. I also want Johannes back, just because he's my boy, and I love him so much, but it's nice just to get to spend time with Horst, not with Johannes. It's kind of like in Supernatural when you have separate episodes with Dean without Sam, or like Sam without Dean, and they're doing their own thing. I love it. I love it. I'm having such a good time here. I plan on finishing The Fall Risk today and reading a lot more, but that's where we're at right now. I'm just having a great time. Having a great time in the sunshine before I have to go in and work on several videos. But hey, early morning sunshine, that way I don't feel stressed out about needing to go sit in the sunshine later today, because I get that way. I'm like, no, before the day's over I need to go and absorb as much sunshine as I physically can, and it stresses me out because I'm like, well, I have other stuff I need to be doing, Chey, but I'm also like vitamin D and health, mental health. So as long as I get it in the morning, at least I can say, well, I got some sun this morning, and I can trick myself. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a little bit, and we need to catch up. It is past May 1st, and that's okay. I said that's when I was going to end this vlog, but I lied. I'm actually going to let it run through this weekend through the 4th. Today's the 3rd. I'm going to let it run through tomorrow night, because Nat's Patreon readathon ended the other day, but I'm like, I was working on my video, and so I didn't really get to participate as much as I want, and so I want to finish out the readathon, and I just want to read more because I've been so absorbed in getting my horror sound video done, which it's done now, by the way. I'm just doing the thumbnail and the description and all that, and then it will be live on the main channel. I'm so excited about it. I got 2 big project videos done in a row. Who am I? I feel so fulfilled, but I'm also so tired. And I'm ready to just read and not think about anything, especially because Beartooth week is coming up. I get to see the bros. I get to see the lads 3 times in a week. A concert every 2 days. All across Tennessee. But let's catch you up on the reading. I've finished several things, and I feel like I've been getting more in a flow of reading. I have been missing out on my 10 pages a day books. Oops. And I'm still a little bit behind. We are currently at 26 current reads, which is 3 more, I think, than I started with on this vlog. But I have finished some more. I finished Truth or Beard, and I freaking loved it. 5 stars. It was one of those books, and I told Nat this, it is one of those books that make you want to stay up and read the rest of it, no matter how late it is. And those are typically, like, rare for me to find, because I'm usually very anxious about, like, getting to sleep early. That way I can wake up early the next day, because I usually have so much to do. So it is very rare for me to find a book nowadays where I'm like, I don't care how much sleep I lose, I gotta finish it, especially if I'm, like, within the last 100 pages of it. But I was, like, more than 100 pages from finishing it, and I was like, I have to finish it. It was so good. Jess and Dwayne, amazing couple. And also, just, where's my Dwayne? Give me my Dwayne, okay? He is so funny. What an emotionally intelligent, but also, like, chaotic man. Chaotic family. It had me cracking up the entire time. The humor is definitely not for everybody, but I liked the conflict. I liked the discussions that were had. I liked the 3rd act conflict and the resolution. It just felt real. It was so different from so many romance novels that I read, and I was like, yeah, this is more my speed. I like this. I like this a lot. In a funny way, it felt more at home and familiar. Maybe I'm just saying that because it takes place in Tennessee and stuff and has to do with biker clubs, but it just, I don't know, it felt more grounded to me after reading all these, like, romance novels that we've just been inundated with, like, 3rd act breakup, communication crap. I'm like, no, give me biker club drama. That is what I want. And I don't want it to just be like, oh, he thought that you were this man's old lady. Like, give me actual conflict and repercussions and goofiness, and I'm all here for it. So it was a 5 out of 5 star read for me. I freaking loved it. Thank you, Nat, for the recommendation. Why does my library not have, like, every book in the series? They just have 1 through 4 and then 8 through 10. I don't know, but it's fine because I'm probably gonna buy number 1 anyway because I just loved it. Another book I finished Royally Effed, 2 stars. I left a rant review on Goodreads, and I actually figured out a better way to say what I was trying to say the other day, though I think I ended up saying it pretty well. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I will post it from my Goodreads review here because I am efficient, not lazy. I ended up hating it as much as I could without it not doing anything actually wrong. So I only rate books 1 star or lower if they do something, like, actually offensive. Like, I'm talking any kind of isms, like racism, etc., like actually problematic stuff. This book was not problematic in that sense. It was problematic to me, but I know there's a bunch of people out there who, like, this book is going to be perfectly marketed towards, and as long as they're not hurting anybody, more power to them. But I'm allowed to complain and have feminine rage about it, okay? What made this book worse was it wasn't even like insta-lust, because they weren't all over each other, and it wasn't insta-love, but it was like something chaotically in between, and it just didn't mesh well, because even though I'm not a fan of insta-love, I just don't, like, I don't believe it. I have friends who it's happened to, but I just don't believe it. And insta-lust, yeah, whatever, this just didn't read like, they had this weird mix of it that just didn't read like it was actually, like, really happening. Like, you've known each other for 10 minutes. You've met, like, a total of, like, an hour over 5 days, and now you're like, I wanna marry her. What? I don't get it. And also, girl would have some clarity, like, she would have the hearts in her eyes, right, when she met him, and then, like, whenever she had some space, she's like, wait, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be his tour, whatever. Like, God forbid she's within 5 meters of his testosterone, because all of a sudden she just goes blank cave woman brain. Her entire genetic sequence gets rearranged to focusing on that anytime she's around it, and I'm like, why are we reducing women to hungry piles of meat? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? We could have had such great ace representation. We could have had such a great love story, and it's just so not good. It's just so not good. And there's so many freaking comments that this dude made. The one that ticked me off the most, what was it? Oh my god. Okay, this sent me into an actual rage. I was live texting Nat when this happened. You want to know, this man, I'm not gonna curse his voice, I'm really gonna try not to, but this man, send him to the fucking guillotine. Like, he had a comment, right? So they go out to dinner or coffee or whatever. He raises his hand to bring the barista over to him to order coffee, which you might be like, okay, that's douchebaggy, but he doesn't know any better. Like, he's used to people serving him, and so she calls him on it. Again, girl has moments of clarity. Girl has moments of, like, putting him in his place. She's like, hey, she's a service worker. She's not here to serve you. Like, she's a barista. She has a job. Like, what is wrong with you? Whatever. Next time they come out for coffee, she does things. She's like, no, you're gonna go to the counter like a normal person. What is wrong with you? She still doesn't know he's the prince, by the way, even though literally everyone else does, and his face is on billboards and stuff. She's just like, I'm American, because it's convenient to the plot. Anyway, she's like, you're gonna march your butt up there, and you're gonna order coffee like a normal human being. Which, it's like, okay, cool. And I don't mind the whole prospect of her, like, putting him in his place and, like, teaching him stuff, because that could have been an amazing character arc, right? But he goes up there, he gets his coffee, he orders it, and he comes back, and then when it's ready, he goes up there and gets it, and he comes back, and he makes a comment, and he said, so this is what it's like to be poor?
Shut the fuck up. Know your fucking place, trash.
I hate him. I don't want to behoove him. I want to behead him. I just, vive la France, I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. No redemption after that. Absolutely none. I don't care what happens to him. Let him be miserable. Not my king.
I'm your king.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Not my future king. Not my prince. Hated him. 2 stars. But it's done. It's over. It's off my TBR. It's off my list. He can't be redeemed for me. I don't care how hot he looks in a ugly uniform, okay? Like, no. No. I'm at my parents' house right now, which I am spending the weekend with them because we have stuff to do for home projects and stuff. Anyway, I've been reading a lot because we don't have Wi-Fi here, and so I've just had time to read my books, and I'm really enjoying it. What else have I finished? Have I finished anything else? I feel like I have, but what I'm gonna finish tonight, I'm about 140 pages for finishing My Heart is a Chainsaw. I'm sorry, you can't make me like Aletha, whatever her name is, the girl that's supposed to be the final girl. I don't like her. I feel like I'm just like, girl, get in there already. Like, I don't like her. I don't hate her, but I'm just like, I don't want to root for her. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean she's supposed to be the final girl? No, just get in there and start bodying people, girl. And that's a me problem, but I'm loving the book. I can't root for Letha, but I'm loving the book otherwise. Like, I'm having so much fun with it. So I'm 140 pages from it. I could probably binge it tonight and finish it, but I have so much other stuff to read. Another thing I'm definitely going to finish tonight, I'm going to finish The Iron Trial that I've been reading because I'm 100 pages from it. Chey lore, when I get within 100 pages of finishing a book, I pretty much finish that book that same night unless I'm just absolutely exhausted because my brain's like, no, it's the final countdown. And I'm liking the Iron Trial. I'm definitely a bit too old for it, I think. I don't ever think that you're too old to read any type of book, but in that sense, I think I would have enjoyed this a lot more when I was younger. I can definitely see the comparisons to other magical school books, let's put it like that. And it is unique. It is Percy Jackson kind of esque, but it leans more towards the other magical school kind of esque. But it is interesting. Like, this whole magic system, the whole plot, the dynamics, very interesting. It was kind of hard to hold my attention for like the good first half, but once we started rolling, I have been devouring this like crazy. So I am enjoying it. I am enjoying getting to know the world and characters now that we're past like the beginning stages of the school stuff, now that we're actually like getting into the plot. I'm enjoying it. I am reading this because I own the second book, did not realize it was the second book for a long time. And so I'm like, well, I gotta read the... Have you noticed that's a habit with Chey? I get the second book and I don't own the first. Anyway, I'm reading from my library, and I'm probably going to continue reading the second book, at the very least, to get it off my physical TBR. But I'm not hating it. I just don't know if I'd like it enough to own it. But it is fun. I'm having a good time. I also finished The Fall Risk. I ended up really enjoying it, which I figured I would within the first couple pages. Really nice, sweet, and short story. I mean, it's only 87 pages. I really agree with Jan's sentiment, her review on it, which is, it did feel a little fast for insta-love, but you know what? It is an 87-page short story, so I can't complain too hard. I absolutely love Izzy and Gabe. Is that his name? I am Izzy. I just am Izzy. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I thought their dynamics were fun. It did make me laugh more than I expected it to, and they were all really cute together, and I liked the resolution of the main tension. The old ladies were actually the best part. The old ladies had me cackling. I love those old ladies. They're so funny. They gave me the same vibes as the board, the monster of the board in The Answer Is No, the heads of the board or whatever. It gives me the same vibes. I love side characters that become their own unit of a character. It's so good. I'm 58% done with the Stormcrow. Those are the ones that I've been working on. Remember how at the beginning of this vlog I said I was going to try and work on the Clash book and stuff? Hi. No. What I am working on is finishing My Heart is a Chainsaw. I'm definitely going to finish the Iron Trial tonight. I would like to finish My Heart is a Chainsaw and Stormcrow after that. Let me tell you about Stormcrow. If you don't know the general premise of Stormcrow, number one, crows. This kingdom is like based around, they have like all types of different crows with different magical abilities, which, amazing. Let me be the queen of that. One day the Far Nation attacks and all their crows, and that wasn't a joke, like far, like the rookery, the crows, like mostly got her mom, so our main character is the princess, like her mom gets, because she goes into the rookery to try and save the crows, and her sister is the older princess or whatever, and that's why our main character was always training to be a crow rider, because she wasn't going to be next queen, like, so she was training to be what they call a rider of a crow, and like training to be in battle and stuff like that. But before she got old enough to go through the whole school and claim her own crow and hatchet and stuff, the Fire Nation attacked. So anyway, the nation that did this, like, to settle peace, her sister marries her off to the prince of this nation, and he's like our enemies to lovers guy, right? And I adored him from the moment that he was introduced, okay? Say it with me, Chey loves a villain, and he's not necessarily a villain. He is just in a bad spot. He doesn't seem like a bad guy, just a product of his environment, and he tells her, he's like, I don't want to be your enemy, you know, he apologizes. My dark-haired, blind-eyed man apologizes. What? And he's a killer. Like, he's a soldier. He's a highly trained soldier. Dual-wielding swords. They're short swords, but still. She went to the rookery to, like, say goodbye in the ashes and stuff, and she found an egg. She thought they had all been destroyed, or, like, all the crows were dead, because, like, all the crows were killed. But she finds this egg that is unbroken, and when she touched it, she feels it hum like it's alive, and so she saves it, because she's like, I gotta hatch this egg. It could be the one, like, it could not, even though this one crow might not save our nation, it could be like a spiritual, thing to get other nations to ally with us, to back us up when they see that, like, there is hope or whatever. Now we are in the kingdom with her, in the other kingdom, and with Prince, and the names are too complicated, don't ask me to pronounce them, but she's in the kingdom where she is now kind of a prisoner, and I want her love interest to be the prince. It's Assyrian, whatever his freaking name is. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I'm too tired. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. Give me a break. It's like Erican? I don't know. But she has just met, Callias? She's met this guy who is, like, supposedly working for the opposition, like, working for some rebels, and so she's trying to work with him, and he's very clearly gonna be a love interest, because she's like, oh my god, he's so hot, oh my god, and I feel comfortable, and I feel safe around him, and I want to talk to him about the crows, and he's so nice, and oh my god, the hands, and I'm like, okay, you take him, give me the prince. I don't trust him. I think this guy's gonna turn on her. He may be a love interest, and we may be getting a love triangle here. I don't care if there's a love triangle. I want the prince. I want the prince. I want the prince for her. So that's where we're at with that. I am liking it, though. I get more into it the longer that I read it. I never feel an inkling to want to pick it up, but when I pick it up, it's hard to put down, if that makes sense. So I am liking it. I will hopefully finish it this weekend, and hopefully My Heart is a Chainsaw and The Iron Trial, which I'll finish tonight. Then I'm probably going to focus on my other library loans, because that is really what I'm really trying to focus on. That's going to take us to the end of this vlog, hopefully. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll end this vlog not just tomorrow, but maybe I'll end it when I finish those 3 books. I think that's fair. Ballad of Black Tom. This was a little 3-hour audiobook that went by so incredibly quickly. What an absolute pleasure to listen to. I really liked this. This had more of the feeling of, part of me wanted it to be a little bit longer, part of me got lost sometimes in the sauce, but then I just backed up and I would find myself again. I think it's fitting that it was a shorter story, because that kind of shorter story fits in with the feel that it had of being like an oral tradition type folktale. That's what I'm getting at. I really liked it. Had a mix of supernatural, had a mix of noir, had a bit of racial commentary, classism commentary, but also occult-ish. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm also currently reading Lone Woman by this author, so this is my other little foray into the author's work, and I'm glad I read it. It was a good time. You want to talk books, kiddos? Let's talk books. We're at the end of this reading vlog. It is Monday, March 5th. I had to go get my blood drawn this morning. It was surprisingly successful. Yay. Usually it is a time and a half to get my blood properly out of me for a blood draw. I mean, it is so bad. You're like, Chey, oh, is it just they had to, a few times? They clear the morning schedule because they know that's how much of an ordeal it's going to be. The whole squad is on call. I had one nurse tell me, God help you if you ever get pregnant. And I was like, I don't think you need to worry about that. But anyway, I'm going to end this reading vlog here today. I am recording this before I finish Ballad of Black Tom, but I know that I'm going to finish it today, so that clip will just be in before this one. Not too much of a time skip, but the house is quiet right now, and Rod is taking a nap, and so I have time to talk to you about the other books. We finished a lot of books in this vlog. Yay. But last night is what I want to talk about. I finished 3 books last night. 3 books, okay? I finished the 3 that I wanted to finish besides Ballad of Black Tom. I finished Stormcrow, I finished Seger, and I finished My Heart is a Chainsaw. I'm so happy. These were all highly rated reads for me. Stormcrow I liked. I did not love, and I will tell you why, because she chose the wrong man. She chose the wrong man, and I will fight on this hill. Editing Chey, interjecting here real quick, to say that the following clip, I kind of give some spoilery things about it, and just look in the timestamp. I don't think that they're spoilers, because I haven't read the second book, and it is a duology, so everything that I say could be totally flipped around in the second book, and I don't know. So I feel weird saying it's spoiler, but technically it is spoilers for the first book, so check the timestamps for when the spoilers are. I'll put those in the timestamps and when it's safe. But I don't think it's a spoiler for the entire series, just the first book, because like I said, certain choices that are made in the first book could be totally flipped on their head in the second. We just don't know, because I haven't read it. So take it as spoilers for the first book, not for the entire duology. Prince Eric, whatever his name is, Golden Man. Golden Man. Maybe I'm influenced by Jorg, but I think she chose the wrong person, because the author, like, I thought that the author was going to build this up to be like a love triangle of sorts, which I was like, okay, romantasy, love triangle, whatever. Whenever she met this other guy and was like so smitten with him, but our prince was doing things like protecting her and just being very, very swoon worthy. So I was like, okay, is it going to be a, you know, enemies to lovers things here and then friends to lovers thing here? It's going to be a triangle. No, which I respect the character. She tells the prince, she's like, hey, I don't see you that way. I know you see me that way. I don't see you that way respectfully, but I do see you as a friend. I've come to see you as a friend, which I'm not saying authors can't do that. Establishing boundaries, great. Breaking character molds, great. But why would you build him up to be so swoon-worthy if you didn't want us to swoon for him, girl? I love him. I'm not sorry, she chose wrong. And at the end of the book where they're galloping off, and he's there, I'm not going to say much more than that, lest it be a spoiler, but he's there, and he's just left. I would have turned that horse around. I would have turned that horse around immediately. We're just built different. I guess me and that character are just built different. I would have chosen him in a heartbeat. Scientist guy? Lovely. Great. Love him. He's a sweetheart. The prince is more my type, and I blame Jorgancraft for that. Fully and completely. But so, she chose wrong. But it was a good book. It's a very interesting world. I don't know if I'll continue with the duology, because I'm like, you chose wrong. I probably will, though, if it ends up becoming available through my library. It's a very interesting world. I love the turns that it took. I saw a lot of it coming, but it is pretty gritty for... I don't know if it's marketed as YA, but it is decently gritty. In comparison to things like Grimdark, it's not. But it is a little bit gritty, so if you like your romantasy, if you like your fantasy with a little bit of grit and grime, give this a try. But it's not all blood, gore, and guts all over the place. However, it does not shy away from torture. So there you go. I really liked it. I really did. I would read more from this author. It's just that because of this main character, I don't know that I'm going to finish the series. I probably will, just to finish the duology, but there you go. Seger. This was a book that I got on Amazon Prime years ago when I was in college. It is a fantasy, historical, military novel. I said the incorrect order of those words. Historical, military, fantasy. I said the exact backwards order of those words. Now, I did not think I was going to like this at the beginning. I thought I was going to like it, but I didn't think I was going to love it. I don't know that I would say that I love it, but I really like it now, because at the beginning, the writing style wasn't for me. It was very action, just turn-based RPG, but in writing style. And I was like, I don't want to read every single action and then what he thinks of every single action. But chapter 2 got a little bit better, and it progressively got better with each chapter, and it got to the point where I was actually hooked in. Like, once we got into the actual battles and the maneuvers and the combat and things were picking up, I got sucked in, okay? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the drama. I enjoyed the intrigue of the battles, of what maneuvers were going to be undertaken, of the portrayals of war and portrayals of combat, and of the hierarchies and the interdisciplinary actions of this whole, and how the Legion works, just like the world building of it. I'm curious. I would try another one of these as a slow, casual read. I'm not fully hooked into the entire world in the series yet, but I would give another book a try. Like, I'm curious, you know? It ended up being a 4 out of 5 star. I enjoyed it. And I thought, oh no, am I in my fantasy military history fiction era? Probably not, but it's funny. The third book that I finished, My Heart is a Chainsaw, I stayed up to midnight 45 to finish reading this. I had 150 something pages to go when I started it at like 10:30 when I finished those other two books. Cause I finished Stormcrow first, and then I finished Seger, and then I finished My Heart is a Chainsaw. So I stayed up till midnight 45. I mean, Stephen Graham Jones just gets another 5 star from me. I don't know what else to tell you. It is so rare for me, especially with the way that my life and my work works now. It is rare for me to stay up reading a book all night. I think that's happened twice in this vlog, which is wild, but that's great. That's great. I love that. And I thought, you know, even though I have a blood draw appointment at 9 a.m. and I'm gonna be up by 6 a.m. I am gonna stay up and read this. I gotta finish it. 5 out of 5 stars. I love this author's writing style. I love the story. Jade, queen. I love the ending. I just cannot really root for Letha. I want to, and I did end up liking her a little bit more by the end. I don't hate her. I'm just like, what? Just get in there and start, you know? So maybe I don't love the whole prospect of a final girl because I think they take too long. What do you mean they have to transform? No, just get in there and start bodying people. What do you mean they have to transform? They have to go through this innocent... stop it. Just get in there with the... I think it frustrated me more because we were on the outside looking in with Jade, and I just wanted Jade to get in there and, like, show her how it's done. But I didn't hate it. I liked it, and I ended up, you know, appreciating and liking her a little bit more. But, wow. The way that I had to cover my mouth, the way that my jaw dropped, like a lot of people at the end of this book, and I had to cover my mouth because I was, like, at the descriptions of the kills and the grittiness, I was so happy. My mom was gonna love this book. The slasherness of it, oh my gosh. It's just that throaty, pulpy goodness. It made me so happy. I love it so much. What my problem with it is at the end of this book, when I finished it, Stephen Graham Jones, we have a problem because I was tired yet wired because I have started some more works in progress for my own writing, which I got inspired with after reading I Was a Teenage Slasher and some other things I was reading at the time. But Stephen Graham Jones' like writing style and just the way that he approaches the slasher genre in general, or just like horror in general, like really inspired me because I haven't really written things in that capacity before, and I was like, now I'm inspired to try my hand at it. You know, I've got these ideas and whatever. And it's happened again. After finishing this book, I was like, I'm so tired, yet all I want to do is write. Like, I'm so inspired with my own story. So, if my publications ever see the light of day, there will probably be a dedication to Stephen Graham Jones at the very beginning where it's like, this is all his fault, really. Wow. Y'all, we finished 14 books during this. We finished 14 books. By my count. Let me see if I can list them off in my head, just by my head. The Answer's No, The Fall Risk, The Rise and Fall of the House of Medici, Anxious for Nothing, Braving the Wilderness, Ankle Snatcher, which I have not talked to you about yet, Ballad of Black Tom, Steiger, Stormcrow, My Heart is a Chainsaw, Truth or Beard, Iron Trial, Royal Leaf, and The Marriage Portrait. Those are all that we finished. Wow. I got so many of my library loans, so many of my wish list items that have been on my library wish list for so long. Done. Read and done. I am very, very happy about that. I'm very pleased with myself. Wow, I read a lot more than I thought I did. And I think that we started this challenge, editing Chey will let me know. I think that we started this with 23 current reads, I think. May have been more, may have been less. I know, it definitely wasn't less. It was either 23 or 26. It did climb up to about 30 at one point. Also, let me tell you about Ankle Snatcher. So, whenever I finished The Fall Risk, or whatever I finished on Prime Reading, I saw that Ankle Snatcher was available. And I was like, I've heard so much about Ankle Snatcher, I forgot that it was on Prime Reading. So I got it, I read it, I loved it. It's a very short story. I love Grady Hendrix's writing. I first read My Best Friend's Exorcism as my last book I ever read on Georgetown's campus, which, if you know anything about Georgetown history, it's where The Exorcist is, like, filmed and set, and we have the Exorcist stairs and everything. So that was cool. I didn't love it as much as I love Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, or whatever that book is, the Slaying Vampires Southern People. I read Ankle Snatcher, and I absolutely loved it. First of all, there was a line where a character is being taken to prison, and the description of the town that follows to the prison with the Dollar Generals and the mattress sales and stuff, I was like, this is so painfully accurate. I thought it was a really neat concept. I thought it was executed pretty well for such a short amount of page space. And boy, was it disturbing. I thought I would be fine reading this at night. I forget that Chey gets very, very paranoid the later it gets in the night, depending on how tired I am too. And so after reading the first kill, I was like, no, we're gonna finish this in the morning. And I ended up finishing it the next night before I went to bed or something. Really quick and easy read though, short and sharp. I really liked it. I would have liked to see it be a little bit longer, but that's always a good thing, you know? So I think that we started this challenge with either 23 or 26 books, but at one point we got up to like 30. Yikes. But now, my friends, we are down to 21 current reads. I know. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. I wanted to get below 20, and technically I kind of am, because one of those is my Jorg reread. One of those is like my annotation reread that I'm just taking my time with. I'm in no hurry. And then 2 are my current 10 pages a day reads. So technically, I am down to 18 current reads. So I'm gonna call that a win, because I know my 10 pages a day book's gonna be on there a while. I know Jorg's gonna be on there a while. He's his own monster. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. I'll probably do more vlogs like this. Oh, my experiment failed. Reading like 10 pages a day, like in 5 different reads or whatever. I say it failed, but it didn't really. It failed in execution. It did not fail in spirit, because what it did was allow me to set a manageable goal that got me back into like the groove of reading, of like picking up every day, picking up several books a day and reading, because I usually read every day, but picking up several books and making progress in them. So it got me back in the groove, and it did its job. I'm very, very happy. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the proof rock, you know? One goal I'd like to do this year is to get my want to read under 400. I know I'm going to be continuously adding to it. I know that's not going to be the number forever, but I at least once, I want to see it get under 400. At least once. So we may be doing some of that, plus just reading down my physical TBR and trying to read down my currently reading. I won't be filming this next week because I am going to see Beartooth pretty much every day next week, but the week after that, probably start filming another one. I don't know, close to my birthday. Would y'all want a birthday book haul, birthday book shopping? I can do a book haul now without feeling like, I love this new channel. She's so cool. That's going to be it for me in this vlog, though. I hope that you're reading. I hope you're loving what you're reading. If you have read any of those books I've read in this vlog, or if you're interested in any of them now, let's talk about that down in the comments. Let's talk about it anywhere and everywhere. That's enough goofs and gaffs out of me. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. And if you ain't heard it from anyone else, I love you. You rock. Love and peace. Bye!